Welcome to part 2. Let's jump right back in. Family law. It handles relationships within the home. Issues it must deal with include same-sex marriages, unpaid support payments, divorce, child custody, and much more. Contract law. It outlines the requirements needed for legally binding agreements. This can range from buying a new shirt to an agreement between a company and government. If the legal binding is broken, the party who is wronged can sue. Tort law pretty much deals with wrongs that one person commits against another. Now, property law. It deals with anything that has a money value. And lastly, labor law. It handles the connection between employers and employees. Things like minimum wage, equal pay, working conditions, and proper dismissal. Now we can move on to actus reus and mens rea. Now you're probably thinking, what did you just say? But it's actually Latin for a wrongful deed and a guilty mind. These are used in criminal law. In order for an act to be a criminal offense, these two conditions must exist. Let's look at actus reus, or in English, a wrongful deed. In other words, it must be proven that a person committed an act that is against the law. It can also be described as a failure to do something. For example, it is considered a crime for parents to keep necessities to live, like food or water, from their children. Mens rea means a guilty mind, which means it must be proven that whomever is accused had intentions to commit the crime. Mens rea will exist if one or more of three things happen: intent, or knowledge, or recklessness. Intent is the purpose behind an act. Knowledge is doing something wrong that you know is wrong, like borrowing a stolen bike from a friend, knowing they had stole it. Recklessness is not considering results of an action that sometimes ends up harming people. For example, driving over the speed limit. We're now going to be talking about the types of offenses that one can commit. Summary conviction offenses are the most minor. Really, the maximum punishment you can get is $2,000 fine and/or 6 months in jail. But still, don't do them. An example of this offense is causing a fight. Indictable offenses are all very serious crimes. For example, murder or assault. The max penalty is an entire lifetime in prison. It is up to the judge to decide the severity of the punishment. Lastly, hybrid offenses. For these, the Crown must decide if they treat the situation as a summary or indictable offense. An example of this is theft under $5,000. Carrying on with crime in Canada, let's look at Canada's court system. Power over the court system is given to federal and provincial governments. Provincial governments have the power to administer justice in their province. The federal government controls criminal law and cases. The Supreme Court is under the federal government. It is the top dog court in Canada. It has unlimited power when dealing with criminal cases and sets national rules for all the other courts in Canada. Courts like the Provincial Supreme Court, Trial Division, and Court of Appeal can try severe crimes, even indictable offenses, unless the accused requests the case to be taken to the Supreme Court. Trial procedures within these courts look different for a summary offense compared to a serious indictable offense. For a summary offense or a minor indictable offense, the accused must be charged within 6 months after the offense. The case is taken to provincial court to be heard by a judge who will then give a verdict. Indictable offense procedures go like this. The accused chooses their trial procedure out of provincial court judge, Supreme Court judge, or judge and jury. None sound too fun, but for the very serious offenses, they must be tried by judge and jury, and there is no time limit for pressing charges. As far as criminal law goes for us teens, the Youth Criminal Justice Act covers us. It was created in 2002 and applies to all offenders ages 12 to 17. The Act provides long-term needed solutions and gives grace and rehabilitation to those who deserve it. The Act promotes responsibility and accountability for youth. Well, that's the end. I hope I didn't bore you too much. Thank you all for listening.
Created using Powtoon.